My friend, I want to share with you a story that changed the trajectory of my entire life, and more importantly, the moment I discovered the fundamental laws that separate those who achieve extraordinary success from those who merely dream about it. It was a cold October evening in 1908, and I found myself sitting across from the most powerful man in America, Andrew Carnegie. I was just a young reporter, barely making ends meet, when this steel magnate looked me directly in the eyes and said something that would haunt me for the next 20 years. Napoleon, I've spent my lifetime observing successful men, and I've discovered that there are definite laws, as reliable as the law of gravity, that govern success and failure. Would you be willing to spend 20 years of your life, without pay, to uncover these laws and share them with the world? That single question launched me on a journey that would consume 2 decades of my life, during which I interviewed over 500 of the most successful individuals of our time: Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Theodore Roosevelt, John D. Rockefeller, and countless others who had risen from nothing to build empires that shaped our world. But here's what I discovered that will shock you. Success is not a matter of luck, circumstances, or even talent. Success is governed by immutable laws, and when you understand and apply these laws, failure becomes virtually impossible. Today I'm going to share with you the 10 most powerful laws I've uncovered, laws that have been tested and proven by hundreds of the world's most successful individuals. These aren't theories or philosophical concepts. These are practical, actionable principles that, when applied consistently, will transform your life beyond recognition. But I must warn you, knowledge without action is powerless. What I'm about to share with you has the potential to revolutionize your entire existence, but only if you have the courage to act upon it. The question isn't whether these laws work, they do. The question is whether you'll have the wisdom and determination to implement them in your own life. Are you ready to discover the secret formula that has created more millionaires, more industry leaders, and more world changers than any other philosophy in human history? Then let's begin this journey together. The first law, the law of definite purpose. The starting point of all achievement is desire backed by definite purpose. During my interviews with the most successful individuals of our time, I made a startling discovery. Every single one of them had developed what I call a definite major purpose, a clear, specific, and burning desire for something they wanted to achieve. Let me tell you about Henry Ford. When I sat with him in his Dearborn office, he told me something that revealed the power of this first law. Napoleon, he said, most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and hit. I didn't just want to build cars. I wanted to put America on wheels. That specific vision drove every decision I made. Here's the profound truth. Your mind is like a powerful magnet. When you focus it on a definite purpose, it begins to attract all the resources, opportunities, and people necessary to achieve that purpose. But when your mind lacks definite direction, it attracts nothing but chaos and mediocrity. Thomas Edison shared with me his secret. I never worked a day in my life on something I didn't have a burning desire to accomplish. When I decided to create the incandescent light bulb, I didn't just want to invent something, I wanted to light up the world. That definite purpose sustained me through 10,000 failed experiments. The action steps for implementing the law of definite purpose. Step 1, write down exactly what you want to achieve. Be specific. Instead of "I want to be wealthy," write "I want to earn $100,000 per year through my own business by December 31st of next year. Step 2, determine what you're willing to give in return for what you want. Success always demands an equivalent value in useful service. Step 3, establish a definite date when you intend to achieve your purpose. Step 4, create a definite plan for carrying out your purpose and begin at once to put it into action. Step 5, write out a clear statement of your purpose, your plan, and your timeline. Read it aloud twice daily, once upon waking and once before sleeping. I learned from Andrew Carnegie that a goal is a dream with a deadline. When you combine burning desire with definite purpose and a specific timeline, you activate the most powerful force in the universe, the force of focused human will. The second law, the law of the mastermind. No individual has sufficient experience, education, native ability, and knowledge to ensure the accumulation of great fortune without the cooperation of other people. This second law revealed itself to me through careful observation of every successful person I interviewed. Not one, and I repeat, not one, had achieved great success working entirely alone. Andrew Carnegie explained this principle to me with crystal clarity. Napoleon, I've surrounded myself with men whose education, experience, and ability supplement my own. My mastermind group consists of approximately 50 individuals, and together we possess all the knowledge necessary to carry on the business in which we are engaged. The mastermind principle operates through two fundamental aspects. First, the economic advantage of having access to the combined knowledge, experience, and skills of multiple individuals. Second, and far more important, the psychic advantage. When two or more minds work together in harmony toward a definite purpose, they create a third invisible force that I call the mastermind. But let me share with you the story of how this law transformed the life of Charles Schwab. When I interviewed Schwab, he was earning over $75,000 per year, more than the President of the United States at that time. His secret? He had formed a mastermind alliance with Andrew Carnegie and other steel industry leaders. Napoleon, he told me, I don't know as much about steel as many of the men working under me, but I know how to surround myself with those who do know, and more importantly, how to organize their knowledge into definite plans of action. The action steps for implementing the law of the mastermind. Step 1, identify the knowledge, skills, and resources you need to achieve your definite purpose that you don't currently possess. Step 2, make a list of individuals who possess the knowledge, experience, or skills you need. Step 3, determine what you can offer each person in return for their cooperation. Remember, you must give before you can receive. Step 4, arrange to meet with these individuals and propose your mastermind alliance. Step 5, establish regular meeting times and create a definite agenda for each meeting focused on your mutual objectives. Henry Ford's mastermind group included Harvey Firestone, Thomas Edison, and John Burroughs. Together they called themselves the Vagabonds and met regularly to share ideas and support each other's endeavors. Ford once told me, "Alone I am one man. With my mastermind alliance, I am many men, and together we can accomplish what none of us could achieve individually." Remember this truth. You become like those with whom you associate most closely. Choose your mastermind partners wisely, for they will either lift you up to their level of thinking or pull you down to theirs. The third law, the law of applied faith. Faith is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. Faith is the basis of all miracles and mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. In my 20 years of research, I discovered that every great achievement began with an act of faith, faith in oneself, faith in one's purpose, and faith in the principle that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But let me be clear about what I mean by faith. I'm not talking about blind faith or wishful thinking. I'm talking about applied faith. Faith backed by action. Faith supported by definite plans. Faith demonstrated through persistence in the face of temporary defeat. Theodore Roosevelt demonstrated this law when he was building the Panama Canal. When I interviewed him, he said, "Napoleon, everyone told me it was impossible. The French had tried and failed. The engineering challenges seemed insurmountable. But I had faith that American ingenuity could accomplish what others could not. More importantly, I acted on that faith by committing the full resources of our nation to the project." Here's the secret about applied faith. It's not something you either have or don't have. Faith is a state of mind that can be developed through autosuggestion, the repeated affirmation of orders to your subconscious mind. John D. Rockefeller shared with me his morning ritual. Every day before I begin my work, I spend 15 minutes affirming my faith in my ability to achieve my objectives. I visualize my success as already accomplished. This practice has never failed to fill me with the confidence necessary to overcome any obstacle. The action steps for implementing the law of applied faith. Step 1. Create a definite statement of faith related to your major purpose. For example, I have complete faith in my ability to earn $100,000 this year through honest service to others. Step 2. Repeat this statement aloud twice daily with complete conviction, once upon waking and once before sleeping. Step 3. Support your faith with immediate action. Faith without works is dead. Step 4. Surround yourself with others who believe in your ability to succeed. Step 5. Study the lives of those who have achieved what you want to achieve. Their success proves that yours is possible. Thomas Edison told me something that illustrates the power of applied faith. I never once doubted that I would eventually create a practical electric light. Even after 999 failed experiments, my faith remained unshaken because I understood that each failure brought me one step closer to success. Faith isn't about avoiding failure. It's about maintaining absolute certainty in your ultimate success despite temporary setbacks. Remember, faith and fear cannot occupy your mind at the same time. When you fill your mind with faith in your ability to succeed, there's no room for the fear of failure. The fourth law, the law of going the extra mile. The habit of going the extra mile will take you into the field of opportunity where the compensation is always greater than the service rendered. This law revealed itself to me through the common thread I found among every successful person I studied. They all had developed the habit of rendering more service than they were paid for. Andrew Carnegie explained this principle with a story that changed my entire perspective on work and compensation. Napoleon, when I was a young telegraph operator, I made it my business to learn not just how to operate the telegraph, but how the entire railroad system worked. I studied scheduling, routing, personnel management, areas far beyond my job description. When an emergency arose and the superintendent was absent, I was the only one capable of making the critical decisions that kept the trains running. That day of going the extra mile led to my promotion and eventually to my position as head of the Pennsylvania Railroad's Pittsburgh division. Here's the profound truth about this law. Most people have the relationship between service and compensation backwards. They believe they should be paid first, then they'll provide good service. But the law of going the extra mile works in reverse. You must first provide exceptional service, and then greater compensation will inevitably follow. Charles Schwab demonstrated this law when he was working as a laborer in Carnegie's steel plant. Instead of just doing his assigned job, Schwab made it his business to learn every aspect of steel production. He studied the equipment, learned about metallurgy, and even taught himself basic accounting. When Carnegie needed someone to manage a new plant, Schwab was the obvious choice, not because he was the best laborer, but because he had prepared himself for greater responsibility by going the extra mile. The action steps for implementing the law of going the extra mile. The action steps for implementing the law of going the extra mile. Step 1. In your current position, identify 3 ways you can provide more value than you're currently giving. Step 2. Begin immediately to implement these improvements without expecting immediate compensation. Step 3. Study your industry thoroughly. Become an expert not just in your role, but in how your role contributes to the larger picture. Step 4. Volunteer for additional responsibilities that others avoid. Step 5. Maintain a detailed record of the extra value you provide. This will serve as the foundation for your next promotion or increase in compensation. Henry Ford shared with me his philosophy on this law. I've never met a person who was hurt by doing more than they were paid for. The marketplace has a way of rewarding those who consistently provide exceptional value. But here's the key. You must go the extra mile with the right mental attitude. Do it as an investment in your future success, not as a burden or obligation. The most important aspect of this law is this: going the extra mile must become a habit, not just an occasional practice. When you consistently render more service than you're paid for, you position yourself in the field of opportunity where luck seems to find you at every turn. John Wanamaker, the department store magnate, told me, "I've built my entire business empire on the foundation of going the extra mile. Every employee in my organization understands that we provide more value than our customers expect to receive." This philosophy has created such customer loyalty that we rarely lose a customer once we've gained one. The fifth law, the law of organized planning. Plans are inert and useless without sufficient power to translate them into action. This power is derived from the coordination of effort between the leader and his followers. During my research, I made a crucial discovery. Every failure I studied could be traced back to inadequate planning. Conversely, every great success was built upon a foundation of organized, detailed planning. But here's what most people misunderstand about planning. A plan is not a goal. A goal is what you want to achieve. A plan is how you're going to achieve it. And the most important characteristic of any effective plan is that it must be definite and specific. Thomas Edison demonstrated the power of organized planning when he set out to create the first practical electric light system. He didn't just plan to invent a light bulb, he planned an entire electrical distribution system. Napoleon, he told me, I didn't just ask, how can I create light? I asked, how can I create a complete system that will bring electric light to every home and business in America? That comprehensive planning is what made my invention commercially successful while others remained laboratory curiosities. The key principles of organized planning: first, every plan must be definite. Vague plans produce vague results. When Andrew Carnegie decided to dominate the steel industry, his plan was specific. Control every aspect of steel production from the raw materials to the finished product. Second, every plan must be measurable. You must be able to determine whether you're making progress toward your objective. John D. Rockefeller planned to control a specific percentage of oil refining capacity by specific dates. Third, every plan must be flexible. No plan survives contact with reality unchanged. Henry Ford had to modify his original plan for mass production dozens of times, but he never abandoned his core objective. The action steps for implementing the law of organized planning. Step 1. Break your major purpose down into smaller, specific objectives that can be accomplished in 90-day periods. Step 2. For each 90-day objective, create a detailed plan that includes specific actions to be taken each week. Step 3. Identify the resources, knowledge, and assistance you'll need to accomplish each objective. Step 4. Establish definite deadlines for each step of your plan. Step 5. Review and adjust your plan weekly. Planning is not a one-time activity. It's an ongoing process. Step 6. Create alternative plans. Always have Plan B and Plan C ready in case your primary plan encounters obstacles. Charles Schwab shared with me his approach to planning. Every Sunday evening, I plan the entire following week in detail. I determine what must be accomplished, who I need to meet with, what decisions must be made, and what problems must be solved. This habit of organized planning has saved me countless hours and helped me avoid numerous mistakes. Here's a crucial truth about planning. Most people spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their career or their life. Is it any wonder that they get better results from their vacation than from their career? F.W. Woolworth built his five-and-dime store empire using organized planning. He told me, I didn't just plan to open one successful store. I planned to open hundreds of stores, and I worked backwards from that vision to determine what systems, procedures, and personnel I would need. That comprehensive planning allowed me to scale rapidly while maintaining quality and profitability. The sixth law, the law of decision. The world has the habit of making room for the man whose words and actions show that he knows where he is going. In analyzing the habits of successful individuals versus those who failed, I discovered one characteristic that stood out above all others. Successful people have the habit of reaching decisions quickly and changing them slowly. Unsuccessful people, if they reach decisions at all, do so very slowly and change them frequently and quickly. This law was demonstrated powerfully by Theodore Roosevelt. When the opportunity arose to build the Panama Canal, he made the decision to proceed within days, while Congress was still debating whether it was even possible. Napoleon, he told me, I learned early in my career that the right decision made quickly is far superior to the perfect decision made too late. While others were still studying the problem, I was already solving it. Here's the profound truth about decision. The inability to make decisions is one of the major causes of failure. Analysis paralysis destroys more opportunities than wrong decisions ever will. Henry Ford demonstrated this law when he decided to pay his workers $5 per day, more than double the prevailing wage at that time. Every business expert told him he was making a mistake that would bankrupt his company. But Ford made the decision quickly and stuck with it, despite massive criticism. The result? He created the most loyal and productive workforce in American industry. The action steps for implementing the law of decisions. Step 1, gather the essential facts quickly. Don't wait for perfect information. It never exists. Step 2, set a specific deadline for making your decision. This prevents endless procrastination. Step 3, make your decision based on the information available and your best judgment. Step 4, act on your decision immediately. A decision without action is merely a wish. Step 5, stick with your decision unless new evidence clearly proves it's wrong. Step 6, accept full responsibility for the consequences of your decisions, whether positive or negative. Andrew Carnegie shared with me his philosophy on decision making. I'd rather make a quick decision that's 80% right than spend months trying to make a decision that's 100% right. In the time it takes to gather perfect information, the opportunity usually disappears. But here's what's crucial about this law. You must make decisions based on facts, not opinions. During my research, I discovered that most people make decisions based on the opinions of others rather than on their own analysis of the facts. John D. Rockefeller told me something that illustrates this point. When I was considering my first major oil investment, everyone around me had an opinion. Some said oil was the future, others said it was too risky. I ignored all the opinions and studied the facts: the growing demand for kerosene, the locations of oil deposits, the cost of extraction and refining. The facts told me what to do, and I made my decision based on facts, not opinions. The most important aspect of decision is this: you must be willing to take full responsibility for your decisions. Successful people make decisions and accept the consequences. Unsuccessful people avoid decisions to avoid responsibility. The seventh law, the law of persistence. Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. It is the one quality that can transform an ordinary individual into a genius. Of all the laws I've discovered, this may be the most crucial. In studying the lives of successful individuals, I found that every single one of them had encountered multiple failures and setbacks before achieving their breakthrough success. The difference between those who succeeded and those who failed was simply this: the successful ones persisted while the failures gave up. Thomas Edison exemplified this law more than any other individual I studied. When he was working to perfect the incandescent light bulb, he failed over 10,000 times. But when a reporter asked him about his failures, Edison replied, "I haven't failed 10,000 times. I've successfully discovered 10,000 ways that don't work, bringing me that much closer to the way that does work." Here's the profound truth about persistence. Most people give up just before their breakthrough would have occurred. They quit on the 1-yard line of success. Let me share with you the story of R.U. Darby, which illustrates this principle perfectly. Darby and his uncle had discovered gold in Colorado and had extracted several $1,000s worth of ore when the vein suddenly disappeared. They drilled desperately but found nothing. Finally, they gave up and sold their equipment to a junk dealer for a few $100s. The junk dealer consulted with a mining engineer who determined that the project had failed because the Darbys didn't understand fault lines. The engineer calculated that the vein would be found just 3 feet from where the Darbys had stopped drilling. He was right. The junk dealer went on to extract millions of dollars in gold from that mine. The action steps for implementing the law of persistence. Step 1, develop a burning desire for your objective. Weak desires produce weak persistence. Step 2, create a definite plan and begin executing it immediately. Step 3, keep your mind closed to negative influences and discouraging opinions. Step 4, form a mastermind alliance with others who believe in your ability to succeed. Step 5, develop the habit of persistence by forcing yourself to persist in small matters, which will build your persistence muscle for larger challenges. Step 6, remember that every failure carries with it the seed of equivalent advantage. Henry Ford's persistence was legendary. When he was developing the V8 engine, His engineers told him it was impossible to cast an 8-cylinder engine block in one piece. Ford's response was simple: produce it anyway. For over a year, they failed repeatedly. But Ford persisted, and eventually, they discovered the method that made it possible. Here's what most people don't understand about persistence. It's not just about continuing to do the same thing over and over. Intelligent persistence involves learning from each failure and adjusting your approach while maintaining your commitment to your objective. Andrew Carnegie shared with me his secret for developing persistence. I've trained my mind to see every setback as temporary and every failure as feedback. When things go wrong, I ask myself not why me, but what can I learn from this that will make me stronger and smarter? The most important aspect of persistence is this: you must persist with a positive mental attitude. Persistence combined with negativity and resentment is merely stubborn foolishness, but persistence combined with faith and positive expectation is the force that moves mountains. Charles Schwab told me, "I've seen many talented individuals fail because they lacked persistence, and I've seen many average individuals succeed because they refused to quit. In the long run, persistence beats talent every time." The 8th law, the law of the mastermind, power of thought. Thoughts are things, and powerful things at that, when they are mixed with definiteness of purpose, persistence, and a burning desire for their translation into riches or other material objects. During my research, I made a discovery that initially seemed almost mystical, but which I came to understand as one of the most practical and powerful laws governing success. The thoughts you think and the mental attitude you maintain literally determine your destiny. This isn't metaphysical speculation, it's demonstrable fact. Every person I interviewed who had achieved great success had learned to control their thoughts and maintain a positive mental attitude regardless of external circumstances. Andrew Carnegie explained this principle to me with remarkable clarity. Napoleon, I've observed that successful men think in terms of what they want to happen, while unsuccessful men think in terms of what they fear might happen. The human mind is like a fertile garden. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it, whether those seeds are thoughts of success or thoughts of failure. Here's the scientific truth behind this law. Your thoughts influence your actions create your habits determine your character, and your character shapes your destiny. Therefore, by controlling your thoughts, you control your entire life experience. Thomas Edison demonstrated this law through what he called his genius gap. He had a technique where he would relax in his chair with steel balls in his hands, positioned over metal pans. As he dozed off while thinking about a problem, the balls would fall and wake him up. In that drowsy state between sleep and waking, he often received his most brilliant insights. The action steps for implementing the law of mastermind power of thought. Step 1, monitor your thoughts continuously. Become aware of whether your predominant thoughts are positive or negative. Step 2, immediately replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Don't fight negative thoughts, simply replace them. Step 3, feed your mind daily with positive, constructive material. Read inspiring books, associate with positive people, listen to uplifting music. Step 4, use autosuggestion to program your subconscious mind. Repeat positive affirmations related to your goals with emotion and conviction. Step 5, visualize your success in vivid detail. See yourself already in possession of what you desire. Step 6, practice gratitude daily. Focus on what you have rather than what you lack. Henry Ford told me something that perfectly illustrates this law. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. I've built my entire industrial empire on the foundation of thinking I could accomplish what others said was impossible. Every Model T that rolls off my assembly line began as a thought in my mind. But here's the crucial point about this law. Your thoughts must be backed by emotion to be effective. Thoughts without emotion are powerless, but thoughts charged with positive emotion become magnetic forces that attract their physical equivalent. John D. Rockefeller shared with me his daily mental practice. Every morning before I begin my work, I spend 15 minutes filling my mind with thoughts of my objectives and the benefits they will bring to myself and others. I see myself already in possession of what I desire, and I feel the satisfaction and joy of that accomplishment. This practice has never failed to attract opportunities and resources necessary for achievement. The most important aspect of this law is understanding that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. When you consistently visualize success with emotion and conviction, your subconscious mind accepts it as fact and begins to attract the circumstances necessary to make it reality. Theodore Roosevelt demonstrated this when he was preparing for his Rough Riders cavalry charge up San Juan Hill. He told me, "Before every battle, I would visualize our victory in complete detail. I would see our men charging up the hill. I would hear the sounds of victory. I would feel the satisfaction of accomplishment. By the time we actually charged, my mind had already experienced victory, and my confidence was unshakable." The ninth law. The law of control-led attention. The person who concentrates on a definite purpose and makes that purpose an all-consuming obsession is practically sure to achieve it. In my analysis of successful versus unsuccessful individuals, I discovered a fundamental difference in how they directed their mental energy. Successful people had learned to focus their attention like a laser beam on their major objectives, while unsuccessful people scattered their attention in multiple directions, achieving little in any direction. This law was demonstrated most powerfully by Andrew Carnegie during our first meeting. He told me, "Napoleon, I can sum up my success in one word: concentration. I put all my eggs in one basket and then watched that basket carefully. While my competitors were diversifying their efforts across multiple industries, I concentrated everything on becoming the world's most efficient steel producer." Here's the profound truth about controlled attention. Your mind can hold only one dominant thought at a time. When you control that dominant thought and keep it focused on your definite purpose, you eliminate the mental confusion that prevents most people from achieving their goals. Thomas Edison exemplified this law through his work habits. When he was working on a new invention, he would shut out everything else from his consciousness. His assistants knew not to disturb him because his attention was completely absorbed in solving the problem at hand. Napoleon, he told me, "I've learned that genius is nothing more than the ability to focus intensely on a single objective until that objective is achieved." The action steps for implementing the law of controlled attention. Step 1. Identify your major definite purpose and write it down in clear, specific terms. Step 2. Create a mental picture of your objective and review this picture multiple times daily. Step 3. Eliminate distractions that pull your attention away from your major purpose. Step 4. Develop the habit of concentrated thinking by practicing focus exercises daily. Step 5. Surround yourself with physical reminders of your objective. Step 6. Use auto-suggestion to program your subconscious mind to maintain focus on your goal. Henry Ford shared with me his technique for maintaining controlled attention. I keep a photograph of my first automobile on my desk at all times. It reminds me of where I started and keeps my attention focused on how far I've come and where I'm going. When problems arise that could distract me from my main objectives, I look at that photograph and ask myself, will focusing on this problem help me put America on wheels? If the answer is no, I delegate it to someone else. But here's what's crucial about controlled attention. It must be combined with emotion. Attention without emotion is merely concentration. But attention combined with burning desire becomes an irresistible force that attracts its object. Charles Schwab demonstrated this principle when he focused his entire attention on becoming Andrew Carnegie's right-hand man. He told me, "I studied Mr. Carnegie's business methods, his personality, his likes and dislikes, his objectives, and his problems. I made myself so valuable to him by anticipating his needs that he couldn't afford to do without me. That focused attention on becoming indispensable led to my position as president of Carnegie Steel." The most important aspect of controlled attention is this: what you focus on expands. When you consistently focus your attention on opportunities, you see more opportunities. When you focus on problems, you see more problems. When you focus on success, you attract success. John Wanamaker told me, I've built my department store empire by focusing my attention on one question: how can I provide more value to my customers than they expect to receive? But single focus has guided every decision I've made and every policy I've implemented. While my competitors were distracted by dozens of different concerns, I concentrated on this one objective, and it led to success beyond my wildest dreams. Remember, the human mind is like a magnifying glass. When its power is concentrated on a single point, it can start a fire. But when its power is scattered, it accomplishes nothing. The 10th law, the law of cosmic habit force. Every human being is where he is and what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. This final law represents the culmination of my 20 years of research, the discovery of what I call cosmic habit force, the universal law that fixes and makes permanent all human habits, whether they are good or bad, positive or negative, constructive or destructive. During my interview with Andrew Carnegie, he explained this principle in terms that changed my entire understanding of success and failure. Napoleon, there's an invisible force in the universe that takes over our habits and makes them permanent. When you develop positive habits like definiteness of purpose, persistence, and controlled attention, this force works in your favor. But when you develop negative habits like procrastination, fear, and doubt, this same force works against you. Here's the profound truth about cosmic habit force. It operates automatically and impersonally. It doesn't care whether your habits are good or bad. It simply makes permanent whatever habits you practice consistently over time. This law explains why some people seem to be lucky while others appear to be cursed. The lucky ones have developed positive habits that attract success, while the unlucky ones have developed negative habits that attract failure. In both cases, cosmic habit force is simply making permanent the patterns of thinking and acting that each person has practiced. The action steps for implementing the law of cosmic habit force. Step 1, take inventory of your current habits, both positive and negative. Step 2, identify which habits are moving you toward your objectives and which are moving you away from them. Step 3, begin immediately to develop new positive habits that support your major purpose. Step 4, use the principle of substitution. Replace negative habits with positive ones rather than trying to eliminate negative habits without replacement. Step 5, practice your new positive habits consistently for at least 30 days until they become automatic. Step 6, understand that cosmic habit force will eventually take over your new positive habits and make them permanent. Thomas Edison demonstrated this law through his daily work habits. He had developed the habit of working 18 hours per day on his inventions, and this habit became so fixed that he continued it well into his 80s. Napoleon, he told me, I don't work long hours because I have to. I work long hours because I've developed the habit of working long hours. Cosmic habit force has taken over this habit and made it as natural as breathing. But here's the most important aspect of this law. You have complete control over what habits you develop during the habit formation period. Once cosmic habit force takes over, your habits become automatic and extremely difficult to change. Therefore, the key to success is to consciously develop positive habits before cosmic habit force makes them permanent. Henry Ford shared with me his understanding of this principle. I've observed that successful people have developed success habits, while unsuccessful people have developed failure habits. The difference isn't in their circumstances or their luck. It's in the habits that cosmic habit force has made permanent in their lives. The most powerful application of this law is in the area of thought habits. When you develop the habit of thinking positively, expecting success, and focusing on opportunities rather than obstacles, cosmic habit force eventually makes these thought patterns automatic. You literally become programmed for success. John D. Rockefeller told me, I've made it a habit to see opportunity in every difficulty and to maintain absolute faith in my ability to overcome any obstacle. After years of practicing these mental habits, they've become so automatic that I can't imagine thinking any other way. This is why I've been able to build one of the largest fortunes in American history, not through luck or circumstances, but through the systematic development of success habits. The key to mastering cosmic habit force is understanding that it operates through what I call the law of repetition. Any thought, action, or behavior that is repeated consistently over time becomes fixed by cosmic habit force and operates automatically thereafter. Charles Schwab demonstrated this when he developed the habit of planning each day the night before. Napoleon, he told me, I've made it my habit to spend the last 15 minutes of each workday planning the next day in complete detail. After years of this practice, I can't go to sleep without completing this planning ritual. Cosmic habit force has made this success habit as automatic as my heartbeat. Remember this crucial truth. Cosmic habit force is always working, whether you're conscious of it or not. The question isn't whether it will operate in your life. The question is whether it will work for you or against you. The choice is yours, but you must make that choice through conscious, deliberate action during the habit formation period. The master integration, how these laws work together. Now that I've shared with you these 10 fundamental laws, let me explain something crucial. These laws are not meant to be applied in isolation. They work most powerfully when they are integrated and applied together as a complete system. Think of these laws as the components of a master formula for success. Just as a chemist must combine the right elements in the right proportions to create a desired compound, you must combine these success laws in the right way to create your desired results. Here's how the integration works. You begin with the law of definite purpose, establishing exactly what you want to achieve. This provides the foundation and direction for everything else. Next, you apply the law of the mastermind by surrounding yourself with others who can help you achieve your purpose and who share your commitment to success. You then activate the law of applied faith by developing complete confidence in your ability to achieve your objective, backing that faith with immediate action. The law of going the extra mile ensures that you provide more value than you're compensated for, positioning you for advancement and opportunity. And the law of organized planning gives you the detailed roadmap for achieving your objective, while the law of decision ensures that you act quickly and decisively when opportunities arise. The law of persistence guarantees that you'll continue moving forward despite obstacles and temporary defeats. The law of mastermind, power of thought, ensures that your mental attitude remains positive and focused on success rather than failure. The law of controlled attention concentrates all your mental energy on your major objective, like a laser beam focused on a single point. Finally, the law of cosmic habit force makes all these positive behaviors automatic and permanent, ensuring your long-term success. Andrew Carnegie demonstrated this integration throughout his entire career. He had a definite purpose: to dominate the steel industry, formed mastermind alliances with key partners, maintained unwavering faith in his vision, consistently went the extra mile in serving his customers, created detailed plans for expansion, made decisions quickly, persisted through economic downturns, maintained positive mental attitude, focused his attention on his core objectives, and developed success habits that became permanent through cosmic habit force. The result? He became one of the wealthiest men in human history and left a legacy that continues to benefit society today through his philanthropic foundations. The transformation process from ordinary to extraordinary. My friend, implementing these 10 laws will not just change your results. It will transform your entire identity. You will literally become a different person, a person programmed for success rather than failure, a person who attracts opportunities rather than obstacles, a person who creates wealth rather than just earning wages. But let me be completely honest with you about what this transformation requires. It demands that you take complete responsibility for your life and results. No more blaming circumstances, no more making excuses, no more waiting for luck to change your situation. Thomas Edison told me something that perfectly captures this transformation. Napoleon, before I learned these principles, I was a victim of circumstances. After I learned them, I became a creator of circumstances. The difference wasn't in my environment, the difference was in me. Here's what you can expect as you implement these laws. In the first 30 days, you'll begin to notice changes in your mental attitude and your level of motivation. You'll find yourself taking actions that you previously avoided. In the first 90 days, you'll begin to see measurable changes in your results. Opportunities will begin to appear that weren't visible before. In the first year, you'll experience a fundamental shift in your entire life trajectory. People will begin to comment on the changes they see in you. Within 5 years, if you consistently apply these laws, you'll achieve results that today seem impossible to you. But remember what Andrew Carnegie told me. The price of success is eternal vigilance. These laws must become a permanent part of your daily life, not just a temporary experiment. The choice that will determine your destiny. And now, my friend, you stand at the most important crossroads of your life. You have been given knowledge that has the power to transform you from whatever you are today into whatever you want to become. But knowledge without application is worthless. You have 2 choices before you. Choice number 1. You can treat this information as interesting but not essential. You can file it away in your mind as something to think about someday and continue living as you've always lived. If you make this choice, your life will continue exactly as it has been. The same struggles, the same limitations, the same unfulfilled dreams. Choice number 2. You can recognize this moment as the turning point of your life. You can commit to implementing these laws immediately and consistently, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what others say, regardless of the obstacles you encounter. If you make this choice, you will join the ranks of those extraordinary individuals who have discovered the secret of creating their own success. Andrew Carnegie faced this same choice when he was a young telegraph operator. Henry Ford faced it when he was a mechanic. Thomas Edison faced it when he was struggling to make ends meet. Every successful person I've studied has faced this exact moment, the moment when they had to choose between the comfort of mediocrity and the challenge of greatness. The question is not whether these laws work, they do. The question is whether you have the wisdom to apply them and the persistence to stick with them when the going gets tough. Remember what Theodore Roosevelt told me, nothing worth having was ever achieved easily. The path to greatness is always uphill, but the view from the top makes every step worthwhile. If you've decided to choose greatness over mediocrity, here's exactly what you must do starting immediately. Today, before you sleep tonight, write down your definite major purpose in clear, specific terms. Set a definite deadline for its achievement. Write down your definite major purpose in clear, specific terms. Set a definite deadline for its achievement. Write down Determine what you're willing to give in return for what you want. Begin immediately to act on your purpose. This week, identify and contact potential mastermind partners. Create a detailed 90-day plan for moving toward your objective. Begin practicing controlled attention for 15 minutes daily. Start going the extra mile in your current position. This month, establish your daily success habits. Begin studying successful people in your field. Practice auto-suggestion twice daily. Make your first major decision quickly and act on it. The next 90 days, measure your progress weekly. Adjust your plans based on results. Persist through obstacles and temporary defeats. Allow cosmic habit force to make your new habits permanent. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but that step must be taken now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Success waits for no one. My friend, as I reach the end of our time together today, I want to share with you the wisdom that Andrew Carnegie imparted to me during our final meeting. He placed his hand on my shoulder and said, "Napoleon, I've given you the most valuable gift one human being can give to another, the knowledge of how to succeed. But this gift comes with a responsibility. You must not only use this knowledge for your own advancement, but you must also share it with others who are ready to receive it." That's exactly what I've done through my 20 years of research, and that's what I'm doing with you today. I'm passing on to you the accumulated wisdom of the most successful individuals in human history. These aren't just theories or philosophical concepts. These are proven, practical principles that have created more wealth, more achievement, and more human progress than any other philosophy ever discovered. But here's what Carnegie taught me about the true measure of success. A man's greatest achievement is not in what he accumulates for himself, but in what he gives to others. The ultimate test of your success will not be measured only by what you achieve for yourself, but by how you use your success to lift others up with you. The steel magnate who started with nothing and built an empire worth hundreds of millions shared something profound with me. Napoleon, I've learned that there are two types of people in this world, those who make things happen and those who wonder what happened. The 10 laws you've shared today are the difference between these two types of people. Thomas Edison, in our final interview, told me, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by altering his attitudes of mind." You've given people the roadmap for that transformation. And Henry Ford, the man who put America on wheels, said something that still gives me chills. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. These laws help people think they can and then prove it to themselves through their results. But now I must ask you the most important question of your life. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you file it away as interesting information, or will you use it as the foundation for building the life of your dreams? Andrew Carnegie believed so strongly in the power of these principles that he was willing to commission a young, unknown reporter to spend 20 years researching them without pay. He understood that these laws could transform not just individual lives, but all of human civilization. And now that transformational power rests in your hands, the choice is yours, but choose quickly, because as I learned from every successful person I interviewed, the graveyard is the richest place on earth, filled with dreams that were never pursued, ideas that were never implemented, and potential that was never realized. Don't let your dreams die with you. Don't let your potential remain forever unrealized. Don't let fear, doubt, or procrastination rob you of the magnificent life that these laws can create for you. My friend, as we reach the conclusion of this transformational journey together, I want to leave you with the exact words that Andrew Carnegie spoke to me when he first introduced me to these life-changing principles. He looked me directly in the eyes and said, "Napoleon, success is not an accident. It's not a matter of luck or circumstances. Success is the result of applying definite laws in a systematic way. Today, I'm giving you the opportunity to learn these laws and share them with the world. What you do with this opportunity will determine not just your destiny, but the destiny of countless others who will learn from your example. That same opportunity now stands before you. The laws I've shared with you today have been tested and proven by hundreds of the most successful individuals in human history. They work with the reliability of gravity, but only for those who have the wisdom to apply them and the persistence to stick with them when challenges arise. Here's what Andrew Carnegie's wisdom taught me about taking action. The most successful people in the world understand that there are moments in life when everything can change, moments when a single decision, a single action, a single commitment can alter the entire trajectory of your existence. This is one of those moments for you. The Steel King who built his empire from nothing shared this insight with me. Napoleon, I've observed that most people are always getting ready to get ready. They're going to start their diet next Monday. They're going to begin their business next year. They're going to change their life when conditions are perfect. But conditions are never perfect, and tomorrow never comes. The only time that matters is right now. So here's what I'm asking you to do immediately. First, if these principles have resonated with you, if you feel that burning desire to transform your life, then you absolutely must subscribe to Napoleon Hill Mastermind Journeys. By subscribing, you're not just joining a channel, you're joining a community of like-minded individuals who are committed to applying these success principles in their daily lives. Hit that subscribe button right now, because your commitment to continuous learning is the foundation of all lasting success. Second, click that notification bell, because success requires consistent reinforcement of these principles. Every time I share new insights, new applications of these laws, new stories from my research with the world's most successful individuals, you'll be immediately notified. This isn't just about watching videos. It's about staying connected to the wisdom that can transform your life. Third, and this is crucial, I want you to answer this question in the comments below, and I want you to answer it with complete honesty. What is the one limiting belief that has been holding you back from achieving your definite major purpose? And what specific action will you take in the next 24 hours to prove to yourself that this belief is false? This isn't just a casual question. This is your moment of commitment. When you write your answer in the comments, you're making a public declaration of your intention to change. You're stepping across the line that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Fourth, share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Andrew Carnegie taught me that the surest way to strengthen your own understanding of these principles is to share them with others. Think of someone in your life who is struggling, someone who feels stuck, someone who has dreams but lacks the knowledge to achieve them. Send them this video. You might be giving them the exact information they need to transform their entire life. And finally, here's my challenge to you, the same challenge that Andrew Carnegie gave to me over a century ago. Will you commit to excellence, or will you settle for mediocrity? Will you join the ranks of those extraordinary individuals who refuse to accept average results, or will you remain among the majority who dream but never act? The difference between greatness and mediocrity is not talent, not luck, not circumstances. It's the willingness to apply these proven principles consistently, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what others say, regardless of the obstacles you encounter. Thomas Edison told me something that I want to leave with you. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. You now have the inspiration. You understand the laws that govern success. The question is whether you'll provide the perspiration necessary to make them work in your life. Henry Ford shared this wisdom with me. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Today, I'm asking you to think you can. I'm asking you to believe that these principles will work for you just as they've worked for hundreds of successful individuals throughout history. And here's my final promise to you. If you will commit to applying these 10 laws consistently for the next 12 months, if you will make them a part of your daily routine, if you will persist when others quit, if you will maintain faith when others doubt, your life will be transformed beyond recognition. You'll look back on this moment as the turning point, when everything changed. You'll realize that this wasn't just another video you watched. This was the day you discovered the secret that the most successful people in history have used to create extraordinary lives. But remember what Andrew Carnegie taught me about knowledge. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes real power only when it is organized into definite plans of action and directed toward a definite end. You now possess the knowledge. The question is, will you organize it into definite plans and take action? The choice is yours, but choose now. As Theodore Roosevelt told me, in any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Don't do nothing. Don't let this moment pass without taking action. Subscribe to Napoleon Hill Mastermind Journeys, hit that notification bell, share your commitment in the comments, and begin immediately to apply these laws in your daily life. Your extraordinary life is waiting for you to claim it. The only question is, will you have the courage to reach out and take it? Remember the words of Andrew Carnegie that started my entire journey. Anything the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. You now know how to conceive it, how to believe it, and most importantly, how to achieve it. The time for dreaming is over. The time for achieving has begun. Welcome to your new life. Welcome to Napoleon Hill Mastermind Journeys. Welcome to your transformation.